And welcome back to, I think this is day 4 of Magic the Gathering, Ravnica Allegiance spoilers. And yeah, we finally got Domri spoiled. We did not get Rourke Thar, but we got a different legendary Greuel creature. We'll get to all of this in a little bit. A cool bunch of cool systemic stuff, a couple fun Rakdos cards, even 1 or 2 addendum cards that aren't bad. Surprisingly, not a lot of the Orzhov, which surprised. Well, we'll probably get a lot of that in the coming days. But Domri, Chaos Bringer. Notice that with Kaya, Domri, and Dovin, they don't say their last names. It's just the first name and what they're doing. In his case, Grand Arbiter. In Dovin's case, Grand Arbiter. Kaya's case, she's the usurper of the Orzhov. And in Domri's case, he's bringing Chaos. Domri is a 5 loyalty, 4 mana planeswalker, Greuel colors and 2 of any color. With a +1, add 1 green or red mana to your mana pool, and that mana is spent for a creature spell, it gains Riot. You can -3 to look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards from among them and put them into your hand. The rest on the bottom of your library in any order. But you notice that a lot lately with search abilities, that they'll just go straight to the bottom and not the graveyard. But it might just be the set and the style. And -8, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of each end step, put a 4/4 red and green beast creature token with trample onto the battlefield. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get boars, because there's boars in this picture. But, look, I will say it right off front. He's probably the best of the 3 walkers we have. Now, I actually don't think any of the walkers we have, unlike some people, I don't think they are bad, really, at all. Sorry, trailer for something. But I think he's the best one. Automatically he's giving you mana, and if you're spending it for a creature spell, you're going to be giving that creature Riot. Giving anything Riot is fantastic. Because Riot is just a really good ability. So if any creature can get Riot, any creature gets Riot, then you've got a good strategy on your hands there. He doesn't protect him. That is one thing. He doesn't protect himself like the other 2 do have a level of protection to them when they come out. But he does have things to make up for. He has a search ability, which is solid. If you can get to that -8, admittedly, that -8 isn't the best in the world. It is kind of just like, alright, you'll get a 4/4 at the end of the turn, but if you're going against guys like 5/5 flyers or anything bigger than that, yeah, unless you're stalling out and getting an army assembled, which I'm guessing is the point of the card, based from a lore standpoint, it's really not going to be a card that's very advantageous long term. But I think he is ultimately the best of the 3 we got there, and he's cheap too. That's the thing. He's cheap with higher loyalty than his mana cost. So yeah, I dug him. I dig him. Absolutely. I dig all 3 of the walkers we got. This got spoiled over the weekend, but Drill Bit. 1 black, 2 of any color for sorcery. Uncommon. Spectacle cost is black. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, and that player discards that card. There are better cards than this for the same cost as the Spectacle cost. Hell, even for just cheaper than 3 mana. In the format we're in, it's not terrible, or in the set we're in, because these cards at the moment aren't around, and they're generally too powerful. Like, Inquisition of Cold Select is way too powerful to be printed in normal sets. Still, not a bad card at all. Nakiya of the Old Ways. Legendary creature, Centaur Druid, 5/5 for a 5/5 for 5 mana, Greuel colors, and 3 of any color. Rare. You can't cast non-creature spells. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of any type to your mana pool. Or that any type that land produces. So, and let's be clear about that. That ability is not to be trifled with, because that's saying any color that land produces. That doesn't mean basic land, it means land. So if you've got a card that does multi-land, like you're in Commander, you got your tri-lands going on, and an extra of any land that produces, you can theoretically tap. A black, white, green land, for instance, the Abzan land, for white and still get black out of it also, vice versa. So that is a really good effect. Unfortunately, you can't cast creature spells, even in red-green decks. There usually is a small amount of non-creature spells in it. Now, granted, this card can easily just block something and get removed, and then you can have yourself, use your spells afterwards. But that's the thing. This card, no matter what, is going to be in a creature-heavy, if not a solely creature-based deck. So it's a very good card, but it is a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. But it's a double-edged sword I could get behind. I can think of a couple decks I could use this in. Sphinx of New Prov is the double double card for the Orzhov. 2 green, 2 blue, 2 white. For a Sphinx, flying, uncommon, vigilance, and spells your opponent casts that target this card cost 2 more to cast. There's nothing but value on this. I'm glad I waited to make my Sphinx decks before this set came out because I knew we could be getting more Sphinxes, and the 2 I've seen so far are cheap, affordable, and good to be putting in there. So yeah, 4/3 for flying vigilance for 4. Yeah, you're stuck in the 2 colors, but it's value, man. And girls, boys and girls, it's value. That's right. Shihana's Wayfinder is a 2/1 Elf Scout, uncommon, 1 green, 1 of any color. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put them into your top of your library and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Good way to sift through your deck. And honestly, it's sifting through your deck without getting rid of your deck. I don't like strategies that actually, unless you're in a deck that's like that. And even then, I'm not in a deck. I don't usually play decks that involve milling myself or hurting myself. So yeah, it's an okay card. Definitely, it's going to get you something. That said, though, you are pretty much going to your hope is to get something that you want to play. Otherwise, especially late in the game, this card might just kind of be early in the game too. This card might really hurt you if you reveal like you have some big stuff in your coming up and you don't, and you know it's going to help you win, but you don't want to get rid of it. Then you may have a problem on it. It's one of those kind of catch-22 cards. Essence Captures, 2 blue, instant, uncommon. Counter target creature spell, put a +1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. It's essentially the original version of this was in New Phyrexia, I believe. It was the same thing. You counter target creature spell. I believe though they lost 1 life also. So this is still a fantastic card. This is still a great card, especially if you have, because it's going to counter a creature spell, which is important, especially when you're trying to kill someone and. Unless they can't be countered, yeah. But also, it's great if you're running the Simic deck. If you're in any deck with a +1 counter, it's just a solid, good card. Theater of Horrors, which was the spoiled card on the Mothership today. 1 red, 1 black, 1 of any color. For a rare enchantment, at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. And during your turn, if an opponent lost life this turn, you may play exile card. A card's exiled with this card. You may pay 3 and 1 red to deal 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. I don't like this card very much, if I'm going to be honest. Yes, its ability is relegated on the fact that you have to be able to do damage, which obviously the guild does well. However, it's also a catch-22 because, and this card even allows you to do damage, but you're consistently losing cards per turn. As far as I know, there's not a lot of enchantment removal in the set, which is good. But enchantment rules, so that's why naturalizes exist. There are cards that will get rid of your enchantment, so they are harder to get rid of than, say, a creature. But let's be clear, that whole pay 4 mana and lose 1 and deal 1 damage or 1 point of damage to their life, so they'll lose on life, so you can play your exile cards. You still got to put 4 mana into that. It's a real catch-22. Now, if you're dealing other damage with other cards, that's a different story entirely. Then you can just play shit you have from your graveyard. But I don't like cards that work. This, to me, does not come off as a good card. But I'm certain smarter people than me will find it a good card. Mesmerizing Benthid, or Benthid. 2 blue, 3 of any color for a 4/5 Mythic Octopus. It's blue. Now it isn't guild aligned though, unlike the other 2 mythics. But it is still it's still blue. If I were to say where it might be put in, it might be put in the Simic, but you can make an argument the Orzhov actually fits well for it too. Azorius. But anyway, when it enters the battlefield, you create 2/0/2 blue illusion creature tokens. Whenever these creatures block whenever this creature blocks a creature, that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. And as long as you control an illusion, this card, the octopus, has hexproof. This is a weird card because I don't know of any other illusion cards in this set right now. Maybe we'll maybe we'll see some more. Maybe we'll see a card, an enchantment or something that makes illusion tokens. But this is a weird card. Now on the merits of when it comes down on the field, a 4/5 with hexproof, because it will have hexproof because it makes these things. For 5 isn't bad, but the weird thing is this guy on his own doesn't do anything. He's just a 4/5. That's the thing. He's just a 4/5, which a 4/5 for 5 is fine. For 2 mana, it's fine. The fact that it makes more bodies is good, and the fact that these illusion tokens don't die to being targeted by anything is also really good, because that's an inherent weakness of illusions, is that they die to immediately being targeted. But I'm not quite understanding this card. Now, maybe we'll see there's some cards that support it later on, but it is a weird card. Can't lie, it's a weird card. Not against it, just a weird card. You're a weird card, Ace. Weird card. Hackrobat. I love that one. That's a great name, Hackrobat. 2/3 for Rakdos and 1 of any color. Human Rogue, uncommon with Spectacle, Rakdos, black and red. You can play black and give it Death Touch, or you can play red and give it +2/-2, making it a 4/1. Either way, this is just a solid. Just a 2/3 for 3 on its own is a good card. If you're able to do damage, you're getting a 2/3 for 2, which is great. You can give it Death Touch for 1 mana, or you can make it a 4/1 for 1 mana, or do both. It's a good card. I like it. I'm not saying I'm definitely not gonna be in Rakdos unless I have no choice to be in. Like right now, my top cards, top cards or deals to play right now is Simic, because I love Simic. Blue green's my colors. Then Greuel. After that, it's tough. I might go Rakdos, though I might go Orzhov. Orzhov's got some good stuff in it this time around as well. The only deal I'm really not that big on this time around, even though they do have some good cards, is Azorius. I don't think Addendum's a very good mechanic, if I'm going to be honest. Rakdos Razabout is a 3/2 Ogre Warrior for Rakdos and 1 of anything. Uncommon, when it becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker it's attacking. Hey, it's good. It's solid. I mean, you're going to get... Look, if there's no creatures on the field, you're hitting it with 3. If there's a creature on the field, you're at least getting 1 damage in. You're setting off your Spectacle, all that, or you're pinging you're pinging their Planeswalker, which is important. So, yeah. Kaya's it's a good card. Kaya's Wrath, which I'm going to guess is a story card. They don't have a picture for I'll look up and I'll probably find a picture. But they don't have a picture for it at the moment. But Kaya's Wrath is 2 black, 2 white, rare, sorcery. Destroy all creatures. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you controlled that were destroyed this way. This is... Huh? I mean, it's going to be a board wipe regardless. But the advantage is if you're wiping out your own shit. Let me reread that. Let me reread that to make sure I did not misread it. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you controlled that were destroyed this way. Why would I want to be destroying? I mean, with the afterlife mechanic, I can understand. I can get that to some degree. Okay, yeah. Now that I'm saying that out loud, because they have the afterlife mechanic, yeah, it's. I can see that. I can understand it. It makes sense. I would rather not, but yeah, I can see the benefit. Either way, it's a board wipe for 4. And so long as you're in the colors, it's fine. Though you're gonna have to be in the colors to get the best benefit out of it. If you're in more than 2, you'll struggle a bit, particularly if you have the 3rd mana and nothing else. Savage Smash, Greuel colors and 1 of any color for a sorcery. By the way, I'll let you know if it's hybrid mana. Nothing so far has been hybrid mana. We actually haven't seen any of the hybrid creatures they've got in the set. Savage Smash is, again, 3 mana, Greuel, and 1 of any color. Target creature is sorcery. Target creature you control gets +2/+2, and it gains fights target creature you don't control. It's a very bread and butter card, but it's a good card nonetheless. Getting increase, kind of like Savage Punch, actually. And yeah, you're getting an increase, and you're getting the fight ability. fact, pretty much it's exactly Savage Punch, except the Ferocious is not on there. It's already got the Ferocious on there, it's just an extra mana. So I think it's probably better. Just not instant, which I don't think Ferocious Punch was anyway. Okay, Sora form hybrid, as in like Sauropod, like a dinosaur. Bear, basically, 2/2 for 1 green, 1 of any color. Simic creature, human lizard warrior. I guess lizards are a big thing now for Simic, which is fine. Lizards are cool. I like reptiles. And it's got Adapt 4 for 6 mana, 2 green, 4 of any color. Look, it's a bear with benefit. You're not going to go wrong with that. You can just keep it out late game for a while and then turn it into a 6/6 if you want. That's good. And we're actually going to talk about a card or two later on, which really helps out with the adapt mechanic and really makes it more interesting. Greuel Beastmaster is 1 green, 3 of any color for a 2/2 human shaman with riot. So you can either make it a 2/2 for, a 2/2 for 4 with haste or 3/3 for 4. Whenever this card attacks, a target creature you control gets +X/+O until the end of turn, where X is this creature's power. This is an interesting one. At uncommon, this makes sense because you're either going to, if you have a creature out in the field, see, this is one of those things that if you don't have a creature out in the field, you're better off going with the +1 counter, making it beefier and making it bigger. But if you don't have a creature, if you have a creature on the field, you're better off actually probably going with the haste, because they'll each activate. So yeah. I like the card. I think 4 is the right mana cost for a card like that. Actually, absolutely, I like it. I think it's Gear Sage the way it's for, or Gyre, Gyre. I think it's Gyre. Gyre Engineer is a Vidalcan. I believe it's a Vidalcan Wizard or Vidalcan Wizard. Yep. There's another one that doesn't have a picture. Simic colors +1, so 3 mana altogether for a 1/1 creature that taps for 1 green, 1 blue. That's good. It's giving you extra. It's giving you mana, man. If you're in Simic, you're going to use at least one of these. By the way, I always think in terms like limited pre-release and then, future things after that. So that's where my mindset goes. Trollbred Guardian. 1 green, 4 of any color for a 5/5 Troll Frog Warrior. Simic is so awesome. Uncommon. Adapt 2 for 3. 1 green, 2 of any color, which is not an unreasonable adapt cost for a card like this. And each creature you control with a +1 counter on it has trample. So immediately you're going to put it down as a 5/5. Next turn, you can easily make it a 7/7 with trample. And then every other creature you have with a +1 counter on it will have trample. That's a good card. That's a solid card. It's rightly costed or rightly priced as an uncommon. Skateland Spy is 1 blue, 3 of any color for a 2/3 Vendalken Rogue Mutant. I noticed that they're not saying what else is in there. These just mutants. Mutants out there with extraordinary powers. Now, ooh, puppy, there we go. Okay, did you drop something down here? I don't think you did. No. There you go. Just get snuggly on. Just nest. Skateland Spy is, again, a 2/3 for 4 mana, 1 blue, 3 of any color, with an adapt cost of 6. 1 blue and 5 of any color for adapt 2. Each creature you control +1/+1, it has flying. The adapt is a heavy price to play, but I can get why they did it, because flying, between the two, trample and flying, they're both, one will get you some damage through. Flying, unless they have flying or reach, will get all damage through. Evasion is not to be underestimated. Still though, that adapt is expensive, so it's a tough call. It's a tough call. It's not a bad card, but it's a pricey card. I'd consider running one. Just one if you're like in the pre-release. Combined Guild Mage, 1 blue, 1 green, 2/2 human Merfolk Wizard. Sorry for uncommon, because the Guild Mages are uncommon. Surprisingly, this is probably one of the most effective ones because its abilities are all just cost 2. 1 blue, 1 green, 1 green, 1 blue, 1 of any color, 1 green, 1 of any color. You pay the green of any color and green and 1 of any color. Tap it. This turn, each creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1 counter on it. I believe the original one, Zamak Guildmage, did the same thing, or not the original one, the previous one did that. Except I think it did it with just paying mana, which means this one's not as good as the Zamak Guildmage. But if you pay 1 blue, 1 of any color, move a +1 counter from target creature you control to another target creature you control. That allows the adapt to get, if you were take some enough counters off, you allow the adapt to, you can readapt basically. So yeah, it's an effective guild mage for the guild it's in. However, if you want a card that actually takes benefit of the adapt, you want to go with Galloping Lizrog. Galloping Lizrog is 1 blue, 1 green, 3 of any color for a 3/3 lizard frog uncommon with trample. When it enters the battlefield, you may remove any number of +1 counters from among creatures you control. And if you do, put twice that many +1 counters on Galloping Lizrog. Lizrog. Now, should note, if you have no creatures with +1 counters, or if you don't even have any other creatures, this card's just a 3/3 trample for 5, which on its own merit isn't the worst thing in the world. It's not amazing, however, but it's but it's still okay. However, the point of playing this card is to siphon off +1 counters and then basically increase this thing's power and toughness beyond the limits. Even if you just remove 1 +1 counter from a creature, you are going to have a 5/5 with trample. You do 2, you're going to have a 7/7 with trample, and it quickly escalates from there. This card will be basically a bomb. This will be a bring it down on the field, and if they can't kill it, they're going to have a problem on their hand. United Stand is 1 white, 1 green, 1 white, 2 of any color for an instant rare. Creatures you control get indestructible. It's a Azorius card. So, addendum, if you cast it during your main phase, put a +1 counter on each of those creatures, and they gain vigilance until the end of turn. Now, this card I can see is designed to try to work also in a Bant style, because obviously a white Simic and Azorius share a color in blue. So some of the cards probably have to work with Simic on some level. And obviously that card works by putting +1 counters on things. Likewise, also, it works well with the Azorius as well, because they share the color of white with each other. Because if you've got a little army of spirits, you can pump them up, and then you have a bit more of a problem on your hand for your opponent. So this is an Azorius card I can get behind. Definitely I can get behind it. No, it's a good card at an instant speed for just keeping your creatures alive for a turn. It's a good card on the upkeep if you've got a couple small guys or even just a couple creatures in general and you want to pump them up. Ultimately, it's a good card. Burn Bright. 1 red, 2 of any color, instant. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until the end of turn, as it is pretty much a board-wide effect. It's a good card. I don't know if I would use... at 3 mana? Yeah, I can see me using at least 1 copy of it, maybe 2. Doesn't give any other effect, though, which it wouldn't because it's common. If it had even, like, First Strike or Trample, you'd probably make it uncommon at that point. But no, it's a solid card. We had a lot of good cards spoiled today. A couple cards where I wasn't quite seeing the point of them, but some good cards nonetheless. And I can't wait for seeing what tomorrow brings. So until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put it in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And if you have an idea for a superhero magic, what if, anything I do on the channel, put who would win. Anything I do on that channel, put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. Thanks for watching, though. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.